I'm 6 months pregnant, and my fiancé just sided with his mother over me for the last time. The delivery room fight was just the beginning, but what I discovered about their plan for my baby changed everything. Hey everyone, I need to tell you something that's been eating me alive. 3 weeks ago, I thought I had my whole life figured out. Wedding planned, nursery almost done, baby girl due in 3 months. Today, I'm sitting in my sister's spare bedroom, 6 months pregnant, single, and honestly, for the first time in years, I can actually breathe. This is the story of how a fight about the delivery room revealed that I was about to marry into a family that saw me as an incubator, not a person. If you've ever felt crazy for having boundaries, this one's for you. Before we begin, tell us in the comments from which city are you watching? And at the end, do not forget to rate this story from 0 to 10. Enjoy the story. When I first got pregnant, I thought I was the luckiest woman alive. My fiancé, Jake, seemed excited. His mother, Patricia, immediately went into what I thought was helpful grandmother mode. She texted me every morning. Good morning. Did you take your prenatal? Remember, no deli meat. She bought pregnancy books and left them on our doorstep with highlighted sections. She started a Pinterest board for the nursery and sent me links. Dozens of links. At first, I thought it was sweet. My own mom lived 3 states away and worked full-time, so having someone local who was excited felt nice. Month 2. Patricia let herself into our apartment while I was napping to organize the kitchen for baby safety. I woke up to find all my cabinets rearranged. Jake's response? Mom was just trying to help. Why are you being so sensitive? Month 3. She scheduled a prenatal appointment with her obstetrician without asking me. Dr. Morrison delivered Jake. You'll love her. I used my own doctor. Patricia didn't speak to me for a week. Month 4. She announced she'd enrolled us in a birthing class, the one she wanted at a time that conflicted with my work. When I said I'd already registered for a different class, she cried. Actual tears. Jake said, "Can you just go to Mom's class? She's so excited." I went to my own class, alone. Jake said he was too busy with work. Month 5. She started referring to the baby as my baby. Not the baby, or your baby. My baby. I can't wait until my baby gets here. I've been researching the best bottles for my baby. My baby is going to love the nursery I designed. When I corrected her, gently, she laughed it off. Oh, you know what I mean. I'm just so excited to be a grandma. But something in my gut twisted every time. It was a Tuesday night. I was exhausted. My feet were swollen, and I was trying to finalize our birth plan with Jake. So, just to confirm, I said, highlighting the hospital's visitor policy, it'll be just you in the delivery room. Maybe my mom if she can get here in time, but I'll decide in the moment based on how I'm feeling. Jake was scrolling through his phone. Yeah, and Mom. I looked up. What? My mom. She'll be there too. My stomach dropped. Jake, we never discussed that. He finally looked at me, annoyed. There's nothing to discuss. She's the grandmother, of course she'll be there. No. My voice was calm but firm. I want privacy during the birth. Just you, maybe my mom. That's it. His face changed, hardened. You're being ridiculous. This is her first grandchild. She has a right to be there. A right? I felt heat rising in my chest. I'm the one giving birth, Jake. I get to decide who sees me half naked, in pain, possibly pooping on a table. God, why do you have to be so graphic? Because that's the reality. I'm going to be completely vulnerable. I need to feel safe, and I don't feel safe with your mother there. That's insulting to her. She's been nothing but supportive. She's been overbearing. She rearranges our apartment, makes medical decisions without asking, calls the baby hers. You're being paranoid and selfish, Jake stood up. I'm calling my mom. This is ridiculous. 2 hours later, I was ambushed. Jake's entire family showed up at our apartment. His mother, father, 2 sisters, and his grandmother. Patricia was crying before she even sat down. I just don't understand, she sobbed. I've done everything to support you through this pregnancy. I've been there for every moment. And now you want to exclude me from the most important day. Jake's sister, Emma, jumped in. Do you know how much Mom has sacrificed to help you? She took early retirement to be available as a grandmother. I didn't ask her to do that, I started. She's family. Jake's other sister, Sophie, cut me off. Family is there for births. That's how it works. Jake's father, usually quiet, spoke up. In our family, grandmothers are always in the delivery room. It's tradition. Patricia was there when Emma had her kids. That was Emma's choice. A choice to honor family, Patricia whispered. I thought you understood what family means. I looked at Jake, waiting for him to defend me, to tell them this was between us. He said nothing. Jake? My voice cracked. He looked at the floor. I think you're being unreasonable. It's not a big deal to have my mom there. Something inside me broke. That night, after they all left, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed feeling my daughter kick, feeling completely alone. At 2 a.m., I grabbed my laptop and did something I should have done months ago. I Googled, mother-in-law in delivery room against wishes. I found forums, support groups, thousands of stories from women who'd given in to pressure and regretted it. Stories about mothers-in-law who took over the birth experience, criticized the mother's pain responses, took the first photos and posted them before the mother could, held the baby first while the mother was being stitched up, refused to leave when asked, made the birth about their experience. And then I found the custody stories. Women whose mothers-in-law had been so involved from day one that family courts considered them established caregivers during custody battles. Women who'd lost custody time because grandparents had bonding rights. Women who'd been painted as excluding grandparents in court, hurting their case. My hands were shaking as I read. The next day, Jake went to work. I took a sick day. I started looking back through texts, emails, and my calendar with new eyes. Patricia's helpful doctor she recommended. The one I'd refused. I called the office. The receptionist said, "Oh yes, Mrs. Sterling already has you in our system as a patient. She filled out your intake forms and listed herself as primary contact." I'd never given permission for that. The birthing class Patricia had enrolled us in, I checked the registration. Patricia had signed up as birthing partner alongside Jake. The form asked if the grandmother would be in the delivery room. She'd checked yes. The nursery Patricia had designed, I went through our Amazon account. She had the login. Jake had given it to her so she could send us gifts. She'd created a baby registry in my name with her address as the Ship To location. Over $5,000 worth of items. When I asked Jake about it that evening, he shrugged. She's just excited. What's the big deal? I pulled up our bank statements. Something had been nagging at me. For the past 3 months, there'd been a recurring $500 charge to children's legal services. Jake, what is this? He barely glanced over. Mom's lawyer, she's updating her will to include the baby. My blood ran cold. Why does she need a lawyer for that? I don't know. Estate planning stuff. She wants to set up a trust fund. I Googled children's legal services with the lawyer's name. It wasn't estate planning. It was a firm specializing in grandparent custody and visitation rights. Jake, we need to talk. Right now. I showed him the evidence. The doctor registration, the birthing class, the registry, the lawyer. Your mother is treating me like a surrogate. She's planning to have legal rights to our daughter. He looked uncomfortable but defensive. You're being paranoid. She's just being thorough. She wants to make sure our daughter is taken care of if something happens to us. Then why didn't she tell us? Why do all of this behind my back? She probably didn't think you'd understand. You're not close to your family, so you don't get how important this is. That comment gutted me. Jake, your mother consulted a grandparent rights lawyer. Do you understand what that means? It means she loves her grandchild. It means she's planning to sue us for custody if we don't do what she wants. He stood up. You're being crazy. This pregnancy has made you paranoid. Maybe you should talk to someone. Gaslighting. He was gaslighting me. That night, I was lying in bed when I heard Jake on the phone in the bathroom. His voice was low, but I could hear, "She's being impossible about the delivery room." "I know, Mom." "Yeah, Maybe if we just show up at the hospital, she can't really stop you. She'll be on drugs anyway. She probably won't even notice. They were planning to ambush me during labor, when I'd be vulnerable and unable to stop them. I waited until Jake fell asleep. Then I packed a bag. Not everything, just essentials, documents, laptop, clothes, my grandmother's jewelry, ultrasound photos. I left while he was in the shower the next morning. Left a note. Staying at my sister's. Need space to think. My sister Maria took one look at me and just hugged me. Tell me everything. I did. Everything. The whole 6 months of ignored boundaries, escalating control, the lawyer, the planned ambush. Maria's face went from concerned to furious. You're not going back. But I'm 6 months pregnant. The baby needs her father. The baby needs a mother who's not being psychologically abused. We're calling a lawyer. Today. The family lawyer Maria found specialized in reproductive rights and family law. Attorney Davis listened to everything, reviewed the evidence, and her face grew grimmer. This is a textbook case of coercive control with an obsessed grandparent component. The good news, you're not married yet. The bad news, if you were to give birth while engaged to him and allow her access, she could establish bonding rights in this state. My heart sank. So I was right. About the custody thing. Very right. Here's what's going to happen if you stay. She'll be in the delivery room despite your wishes. She'll do immediate skin-to-skin while you're being stitched up. She'll be at your home constantly during recovery. She'll establish herself as a primary caregiver. And then, if you ever try to set boundaries, she'll sue for grandparent visitation rights and possibly partial custody. With your fiancé supporting her, she has a strong case. What do I do? First, break the engagement. Second, document everything. Third, get a new OB/GYN in hospital, don't tell them which one. Fourth, deliver with only people you choose. Fifth, establish boundaries immediately after birth. No unsupervised visits. No overnight stays. Everything documented. And sixth, be prepared for a custody battle. He called 47 times the first day. I didn't answer. His texts progressed from confused to angry to manipulative. Baby, what's going on? Come home. You're being irrational. Pregnancy hormones, I get it. My mom is devastated. You're destroying our family. Fine, be that way. But you're hurting our daughter with this stress. My lawyer says you can't keep me from my child. That last text confirmed everything. She called my work, told them I was having a mental health crisis due to pregnancy and needed intervention. She showed up at Maria's house. Maria called the police. She posted on Facebook, praying for my son and his struggling fiancé during this difficult time. Mental health in pregnancy is so important. Please send prayers and support. It was a masterclass in playing the victim while painting me as unstable. Jake's family and friends started a campaign. His sister, Emma, you're keeping Jake from his child over a petty argument. Do you want your daughter to grow up without a father? His friend Marcus, dude, Jake is destroyed. Whatever you're going through, don't punish him for it. Even people from my prenatal yoga class who'd become friendly with Patricia. I heard you're going through something. Patricia mentioned you might need support. We're here if you need to talk. It was isolating, exhausting, exactly what they wanted. But here's what saved me. My sister, who let me stay rent-free and went to every prenatal appointment. My mom, who flew in and didn't say, I told you so, even though she'd had concerns about Jake from the start. My best friend from college, who'd been through something similar and warned me. They'll try to make you feel crazy. You're not crazy. Your boundaries are normal. And Reddit. I posted my story. Thousands of responses. Women who'd been through it. Women who regretted giving in. Women who'd successfully set boundaries and survived. For the first time in months, I didn't feel alone. While going through shared files to separate our lives, I found Jake's email open on the old tablet we'd shared. I wasn't snooping. The email was right there, from Patricia, dated 2 weeks after I got pregnant. The subject line, Operation Grandbaby, Timeline. I read it, and my blood turned to ice. The email, My dearest Jake, I'm so thrilled you're finally going to make me a grandmother. As we discussed, This is our chance to do things right. I know your father and I were too lenient with you and your sisters. But with this baby, we can have the influence we should have had from the start. Here's the timeline we discussed. Month 1, 1 and 3. Establish myself as primary support. Build dependency. Months 4 to 6. Take over key decisions, doctor, classes, nursery. Make her feel grateful for help. Month 7. Secure delivery room access. Do not back down on this. First moments bond for life. Month 8 Satinnights. Atins 9. Move into your place or have them move here. She'll be too tired to resist. First year, be there daily. Establish caregiver role. Document everything. Remember, the goal is for this baby to see me as a primary parent figure. When they're old enough to choose, they'll choose the parent who's always been there. That needs to be me. If she resists, remember what the lawyer said. We need to establish bonding and caregiver status in the first year. After that, we have rights she can't take away. I love you, sweetheart. We're doing this for the family. Your father and I know what's best. Love, Mom P.S. When you're ready, we should discuss the marriage timing. Might be strategic to delay until after the baby is born. Harder for her to leave if she's a single mother. Just a thought. I read it 3 times. They'd planned this. All of it. Jake hadn't been manipulated by his mother. He'd been complicit. I kept digging. More emails, planning sessions, discussions about managing me. Jake's text to his sister. Mom's right. If we control the first year, we control everything. She's too soft to fight back. Patricia's text to Jake. If she objects to me being in delivery, cry. Say she's excluding your family. Make her feel like the bad guy. The lawyer consultation wasn't just about grandparent rights. It was a strategy session on how to establish maximum control from birth. I called Jake. First time in 2 weeks. We need to meet, public place. We need to discuss custody arrangements. He sounded relieved. Baby, I'm so glad you're ready to talk. Come home, we can figure this out. Jake, I read the emails. Silence. I know this was planned. I know your mother's timeline. I know about the lawyer. I know everything. His voice changed, went flat. So what do you want? I want a fair custody agreement. You can be part of our daughter's life, but your mother won't be. Not unsupervised. Not ever. You can't do that. Watch me. My lawyer says I have every right to protect my child from someone who planned to manipulate me from conception. Those emails prove intent. You're making a mistake. My mom has rights. She has no rights. She's not the parent. You are. And if you want shared custody, you'll agree to boundaries. If you don't, we'll let a judge decide. And judges tend to side with mothers when there's documented evidence of grandparent alienation attempts. He hung up. At 39 weeks, I went into labor at 3 a.m. Maria drove me to the hospital, the one I'd chosen, that Jake didn't know about. My mom was on a plane. I'd filed paperwork with the hospital. Jake was allowed in if I consented. Patricia was banned entirely. Hospital security had her photo. Labor was labor. Painful, long, intense, exactly like I'd expected. But here's what it wasn't. A spectator sport. Jake showed up at 6 a.m. The hospital called me first, asked if I consented to his presence. I did. He was still the father. He came in quietly. Sat in the corner. Didn't speak unless I spoke to him first. At one point during a contraction, he stood up. Do you need... Sit. Down. He sat. My mom arrived at hour 7, held my hand. Let me squeeze until I nearly broke her fingers. Told me I was strong. Jake tried to text. I saw him. No phones. I'm just updating my mom. No, phones. He put it away. At 2:47 p.m., my daughter was born. 7 pounds, 3 ounces. Perfect. They put her on my chest immediately. Skin to skin, just us. Maria was crying. My mom was crying. I was crying. Jake was standing awkwardly in the corner looking lost. After the cord was cut and I'd held her for 20 minutes, I looked at him. Do you want to meet your daughter? He approached like she might break, touched her tiny hand. She's perfect, he whispered. Yeah, she is. 20 minutes later, there was commotion outside. Patricia's voice. I'm the grandmother. You can't keep me out. I have rights. Security. Ma'am, you're not on the approved list. You need to leave. My son is in there! This is my grandchild! I could hear her sobbing, yelling about discrimination and family rights. Jake looked at me. She just wants to meet. No. Please. She's been waiting. She's been planning. I read the emails, Jake. All of them. She doesn't get to meet my daughter until I decide she's safe. If ever. His face crumpled. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't think. You didn't think I'd find out. There's a difference. For the next 2 hours, as I recovered and fed my daughter and fell in love with her tiny, perfect face, I made my decision. Jake could be in her life, with conditions. Patricia? That was going to take time, therapy, and serious boundaries. But my daughter? She was going to grow up knowing she was protected, that her mother's boundaries were important. That love doesn't mean giving up yourself. My lawyer sent the custody proposal. Joint legal custody, primary physical custody to me. Jake gets graduated visitation, supervised at first, working toward overnight. Patricia's access contingent on family therapy, and my approval no decision-making power for extended family. All major decisions, medical, education, religious, require both parents' agreement, strict boundaries around social media, no posts without permission. Jake's lawyer sent back a counterproposal. Patricia wanted grandparent visitation rights, weekly unsupervised visits, overnight stays, decision-making power. My response: see you in court. It took 4 months. Jake's lawyer painted me as vindictive, keeping a grandmother from her grandchild. My lawyer presented the emails showing premeditation, Patricia's boundary violations throughout pregnancy, the attempted delivery room ambush despite hospital ban, evidence of coercive control patterns, expert testimony about grandparent alienation. The judge was a woman in her 60s, a grandmother herself. She read every email, looked at every piece of evidence. Then she looked at Patricia. Ma'am, I'm a grandmother too. I understand the joy of grandchildren, but what you did wasn't love, it was control. You treated this mother like an incubator, not a person. You planned to manipulate your way into her life and her child's life through deception. She granted my proposal. Joint custody. No unsupervised access for Patricia without completion of family therapy and my written consent. Patricia screamed in the courtroom, had to be escorted out. Jake cried. I held my daughter and felt relief. My daughter Maya is 8 months old. She's perfect, smiley, happy, healthy. Jake sees her 3 times a week. Supervised at first, now unsupervised. He's trying, going to therapy, learning about boundaries. He broke up with his mother. Not fully cut off, but enforced boundaries. She didn't take it well. Patricia sent me a letter last month, apologizing, asking to meet Maya, promising she'd changed. My therapist says I should consider it, eventually. On my terms, I'm not ready yet. Trust your gut. When something feels wrong, it probably is. Boundaries aren't selfish. They're necessary. Your body, your birth, your choice. Always. Family isn't about blood. It's about respect. And most importantly, you're not crazy for wanting to be treated like a human being, even when you're pregnant. If your partner is siding with their family over your basic dignity during childbirth, that's not about the delivery room. That's about respect, control, your future. Trust yourself, protect yourself, and know that you're not alone. You are not an incubator. You are not a vessel. You are not a means to someone else's grandparent fantasy. You are a person, a mother. And you deserve to feel safe when you're bringing life into this world. Anyone who can't respect that doesn't deserve access to you or your child. Period. If this story touched, you remember you don't need to be a champion to make a difference. You need the courage to stand for what's right, the humility to admit you're wrong, and the generosity to lift others up. That is the kind of strength that changes the world. Thank you for watching to the end. If today's story touched you even a little, please hit subscribe so you won't miss new episodes every week. Which moment did you like most in the story? Tell me in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video so the algorithm knows you want more. Stories of justice and healing. If you're watching from a particular city, share where you're tuning in from. I'd love to see how wide our community reaches. See you next episode. A secret unlocked by a late apology. Tap the bell to get notified the moment it goes live.